I remember a few years ago, I didn't really care about myself or my life. And honestly, I felt completely worthless. I was just existing, it felt like, and I wasn't even living. And the only thing where I derived some self worth and value for myself was helping others, right? Think about the Battle of 300. It's a really popular battle. I'm sure you've heard of it, where, there was these 300 soldiers facing thousands of other Persian soldiers, these Spartans versus the Persians, and they had to hold the line for as long as possible, knowing they were going to die. What makes someone make that type of sacrifice? And why is helping someone else the best thing you can do for yourself, especially if you're in a dark spot, if you're feeling down? I mean, I was so depressed at one point that showering was a fucking achievement. How do I go from that to locking the fuck in, going gym all the time? I've read all these books, read every day, meditate, blah, blah, blah. All the self improvement habits everyone tells you that helps you actually do help you live a better, fulfilling life, believe it or not. How did I get to that point when, to be honest, the start of my journey, I was so depressed. I'd smoke weed every single day playing video games to numb myself because I hated my fucking reality. Well, it started off really by helping other people. I remember, right, now I was in the transitional phase doing these sort of self improvement habits, but I was still doing all the bad habits. And basically, the girl that I was living with at the time I was dating, she was in uni, right? And she always cooked and whatever for me, and it was great. But she was in the height of her exams during this period. And so I had to take that role, and I was feeling down about myself. Like, I was like, I'm kind of failing myself. I'm not where I wanted to be at this stage of my life. I'm not making anywhere near enough money that I want to live the life I want to live, for example. And I was like, felt like a complete fucking failure. And I was like, you know what? Like, even if I can't do anything right by myself, even if I, can't stop playing this game and doing all this bullshit and just smoking endless amounts of weed, at least let me do something good for someone else. And, it's something small, but during that time period, I just cooked for her, made sure she had dinner. She had extra couple of hours to focus on her revision. And she ended up graduating, which is a great thing. And during that time period, I just remember thinking, like, you know, if my life is not worth existing, at least let me be some value to someone else. But in doing so, you kind of create value for yourself because you get up, you break that pattern, you get out that hole, and you realize it's bigger than yourself. So now, one of my biggest drivers is my future children. Like, it may be different for other people. They might think about their current family or their wife, or maybe it's just like a really solid group of friends, right? And you would just want to see everyone succeed. Doing that makes all the sacrifice you have to go through when you don't want to live for yourself. It makes it all worth it. It makes every piece of pain that you've ever went through worth it. Like, I always think to myself, like, even to this day, like, I have to learn how to fight properly. I have to have a really great physique. I have to become a success. Not even for me. Of course, like any natural person, I think about myself, what I want. Yeah, it'd be really cool to have a nice car and a nice house, but the biggest thing is enabling that for my children. Growing up, I didn't have any of that. I was broke as fuck growing up. Didn't have anything growing up. Um, it was bare bones for me. I remember my mum used to tell me Nike was like designer, like Gucci or something, and I used to believe it. That's why I just wear Nike now. I feel like a rich man because I can afford fucking Nike. It's great, right? But growing up, I didn't have anything, and I'm like, do I really want that for my children? And then it makes the pain and the sacrifice worth it. Even now, if I feel like I'm just stuck in a hole, I still felt like this recently. Like, I'm doing the same shit every day, waking up and going gym and doing all these habits, but for what? Like, why am I actually doing it? I have a tendency to be really self-destructive and fucking degenerate. And fighting that, I need a good enough reason why. And for me, that reason is always, there's loads of different reasons. But one of the main ones is coming back to thinking about other people in my life. Like, you know, is this who I want to be for my mom? When my mom gets old and she can't work, like, it actually infuriates me. I haven't been a success and I can retire my mom because now she's still working 8, 10 hours a day. It kind of sucks. And I'm like, this is why you need to work hard, not for yourself, but for other people. Because we live in a society which is, plays on our natural tendency to be self-centered. everything revolves around the self. Get yourself the nice car and a nice house, and best believe when I have the money, I'm going to do all of that. But the best part of it isn't going to be anything I can do for myself and get for myself. It's going to be enabling opportunity for the other people around me. But that's a pipe dream, let's say. Hopefully if you like this video, hit the hype button so I can, blow up and all that shit. Help me, help you. But that's all cool. But even you can do that on like a small level. You can do that for the people around you, just doing the housework for your parents so they don't have to come home after a long, stressful day of work to a fucking mess. If you're young, for example, or find some type of way to truly help the people around you when you feel worthless in your life. It's going to make you feel like, do you know what? At least I'm worth something to someone. And you can build upon that. And you can build upon that self-worth. And that natural tendency to think about your life and what you want for yourself will start to kick in. You never really have to train yourself to think for yourself and what you want for yourself. That's not something you really need to train yourself. I don't know anyone so selfless that they do everything for everyone else and nothing for themselves. But I know plenty of people are so selfish and so obsessed on themselves that A, it becomes self-destructive and they become perhaps egotistical, or they're self-centered on their failures, their shortcomings, the fact that they don't feel like they're worth anything to anyone because they're not doing the things they need to be doing for themselves. Well, at least if you can't do something for yourself, do it for someone else. Provide some value for someone else in their life and their story. And perhaps it'll give you the motivation to do the same thing for yourself in your life, right? Think about, I think I mentioned the example of the old soldiers, but imagine you was a soldier at war. Do you think you'd want to be there on rations in shittiest conditions, fighting this fucking war? Do you think that's what you'd want to be doing? The only thing that can get you through is someone else, thinking of the greater good, thinking of someone else. That's why these soldiers, they'd always have a picture to remind them of what the fuck they're fighting for. So if you're not fighting for yourself, think about someone else. Think about what you are fighting for and fight for it, bro. If you can't do it for yourself, there's been so many times where I felt lazy and I don't want to get up and there's been an emergency. And as soon as there's an emergency and someone close to me needs me, it doesn't matter how the fuck I'm feeling. It don't matter how tired I am or how not in the mood to do it I am. I answer the call of fucking duty. And a lot of people are like that. A lot of people don't do the things they're meant to do for themselves, but they'll easily do it for someone else. Easily and happily do it for someone else. Utilize that. Leverage that in your life to help you get out of your hole if you're in one right now. Or, I'm not talking about just like if you're in the depths of like, sure, that's where I started off. I didn't even feel like my existence had any meaning. But to continue to push. Maybe you've achieved a few things you wanted to achieve and you're in an okay path. Success is just as dangerous as failure, my friend. Keep yourself pushing forward, not for the fall of yourself, but the fall of your future family or the future community you want to build. Whatever it is, think of something else, usually someone else, right? When you don't want to live for yourself, live for other people. You'll get self-value through helping other people. You'll develop your self-worth through helping other people. And you'll kind of realize, look, the things that I want and should be doing for myself, I can do them for myself. Because if I can do this for someone else, maybe I can do half as much for myself. And the other thing is, other people want to help you. Maybe you feel like you need a helping hand. Other people are going to want to help you once you've helped them. It's just a natural way of things. Just be proactive. Be the first person. Everyone's waiting on someone else to help them. Be that guy to help the other people. And I promise you, more often than not, they're going to give you a helping hand backwards anyway. They're going to be the support system that you need. A lot of the time, I can't speak for other people, but I have the tendency that when I feel down, like I completely isolate myself. And it's probably the worst thing that I can do. The best thing I can do is just be around people, be of service to people. When I feel myself being down and lonely and depressed, go just be around other people. Because, if I'm not doing anything for myself, at least I can do something for someone else. Perhaps that's why I'm so passionate about making videos, because I feel like, what the fuck is the point of my life anyway? Thinking deeply about it. So yeah, if you gain some value from this video, obviously do all the YouTube stuff. There's a new hype button to hit that so I can help me go viral. And if you want to book a one-to-one coaching where I help you achieve your goals or just figure shit out, whether it be in your own life, I'm not a therapist or nothing, but help you figure some shit out, link in the description, book a coaching call with me. And until the next one, go watch another video if you find some value from this one. Peace.